Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and today we are going to go over some items that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and they are all prepper related. I don't really go up to the store that much. Honestly, it's super far away. So whenever I'm in the area, that is when I'm headed up there. And I go for a few staple items, but Dollar Tree always has new things coming in. So I wanted to give you a way to prep on the cheap. That's what this channel is all about. And I think you can do it at the Dollar Tree. A lot of people have Dollar Trees, a lot of people have Dollar Generals, and you can find similar items at each store. And there's also places like Family Dollar and things like that. I don't know what you have in your area, but a lot of people have Dollar Trees is what I'm trying to get at. So I'm going to show you what some of my favorites are. But if you are new here, hi, hello, my name is Tori. We do Prepared Life on a budget. We try and upload 3 to 4 times a week, and we would love it if you hit that subscribe button and became part of our YouTube family. Don't forget to let me know what your favorite things are to prep on the cheap, especially when it comes to Dollar Tree, Walmart, things like that, because $5 or $10 goes a long way when it comes to storing food and or items that you may need in the event of an emergency. So without further ado, let's get you turned around so I can show you what I got and why I got it. Okay, here is my list. I tried to stay with 10. Please be mindful that Dollar Tree is $1.25 now, so it would be a little over $10, but we're keeping you in that range. And also, this is my favorites list. If you have other things to add, that's absolutely great, but please remember they are personal to the prepper. I always have to say that on the channel, so yes, just keep that in mind. Starting over here, we have these amazing pots. They come 3 in a pack, and they are self-drain, self-watering, whatever you want to call it, but I think they're great to start seeds with. I did that in the beginning of the year, and you might see this and it may look familiar just because I went back and just got a bunch of the same stuff that I always get. So some of these things I have mentioned before, but there are a lot of new people, so we're going with it again. We have seed starter pods. Now, these are biodegradable and you can plant the pot. They don't come with any seed starter. I don't really use peat moss in my garden, but it's totally fine if you can. And a lot of the times with these seed starter pots, they come with the little peat pods, and they work just fine. I just have chosen recently not to use them. This year's garden and last year's garden has no peat in it, so yay. But anyways, seed starters, they're really easy to just keep on hand, and then you can just transfer these out after you're done inside with your grow lights and put the pot itself into the ground, which is pretty cool, so yay for that. Next on the list is super glue. I always pick up super glue. You can use super glue for a multitude of things, but super glue is great for wound healing. If you have a small scrape or whatever, you can kind of just close it up. I always tell the story of my husband falling on his bicycle. He used to ride BMX. He still kind of does here and there, and he sliced his head open. The doctor at the ER used super glue to heal it. I always have to say I was in a very small town, so I don't know if that's the conventional way of healing, but super glue you can use for a lot of different things. Just be careful with it. Don't keep this around your toddler. It's really not good for their lungs and or fingertips. So super glue, always pick that up, and a 2-pack. Next up, swing top mason jars. I love to store my herbs in these, and I've switched exclusively to Dollar Tree swing top masons because the ones at Hobby Lobby have been breaking on me pretty consistently. So I think that these work fine. They don't have any rubber stoppers on this handle part here, which I think is the flaw of the Hobby Lobby ones, but right here it has a nice seal, and these are great, especially now that I'm gearing up for this season with all of the sickness that may come upon us. I do want to be ready. I honestly do. So all of my herbs, my tinctures, things like that can stay right in here. You can also make steam pots with these, and I like to just put the herbs in there, put some boiling water in there, and I find that a steam pot in a jar like this with a towel wrapped around it is a lot more, I guess, non-threatening for a child. So if you've never done a steam pot, you're typically doing it over a boiling pot of water, and you're putting some herbs in there, and then you're putting your head over it with a towel over your head. And for adults, yes, we can navigate that dangerous situation, but for toddlers, I really like to just keep it simple. So I put this in a bowl, again with a towel over it. I do a variety of herbs, but a simple one would be dried thyme leaf, and then you just put that in there and kind of put a towel over their head, and then they can sit over there for a few minutes, it not being so hot. You have the towel wrapped over around this, so they're not going to touch it or anything, but they're still getting that steamy goodness for all of their immunity. So I thought I'd put that in there. Again, typically we're using it for dried herbs, but swing top masons are really great to just have around. And they look really nice. So if you are looking for a aesthetically pleasing apothecary jar, this is your jar. Next up, we have the seeds, and the seeds at Dollar Tree are not year-round situations. I think they stopped selling them in September, and you can get 4 for $1. So they're non-GMO, 100%, and we have beans, dill, beets, and I just got some more blue boys because I think they're super beautiful, and believe it or not, deter just like a marigold. I did not know that until I put it to the test in my garden, and honestly I did see a difference. There wasn't a lot of pests around my squash, not too many. I did still have some insect damage, but honestly if I were to plant marigolds, I think it would have resulted in the same scenario. Next on the list is salts. You can't forget the salts. 2 pounds for $1.25. That's a pretty good deal. We got Himalayan pink salt, and that's the only ingredient in here. So it's not necessarily so it doesn't actually have to be a bath salt. There's no sort of additives in here. All you can see, ingredients, pure Himalayan natural salt. There's no like scents or anything, so you could use this in your kitchen if you really wanted to, but I think they have a better deal in the kitchen aisle. So Himalayan pink salt, good one. They don't have like Redmond's Real or anything. I always suggest getting Redmond's Real salt whenever you can, especially if you're at the Dollar Tree. I've seen it in other places before, in other people's videos, but I've never seen it at my Dollar Tree, so I don't know if that's actually true. Next up, Epsom salt, really great for bath soaks. Any type of joint issue that I'm having, if I'm just feeling especially achy, I pop myself in an Epsom salt bath and it seems to relax myself. And magnesium comes in many forms. Magnesium sulfite is great. It does relieve occasional constipation. Whenever my kids are having a tummy ache, I definitely put Epsom salt in their bath. I feel like it helps and it does draw out toxins. So Epsom salt's a good one to have in your apothecary, in your prepper pantry, just for those purposes. Of course, you can use it in the garden. You can use it in a variety of ways. Let me know your favorite way to use Epsom salt, but this is a good one. And again, 2 pounds for $1.25 is pretty awesome. Next on my list, the Kojak pinto beans. I cannot go to Dollar Tree without getting them. I don't know what it is about Kojak, but I love their pinto beans, and I always make pinto beans in my crock pot. And whenever you sort through beans, if you're going from a dry state into a crock pot or whatever, Instapot, whatever you want to call it, you need to sort through the beans because there could be rocks in the beans. And Kojak, I have never found a rock in my Kojak beans, so yay for them. But I think they're a really delicious pinto bean, and I know that sounds strange, but I love my beans, and there are some local farms around here that I really love, but I usually buy like 50-pound bags from them once or twice a year. I don't need that many, but every now and again it's nice to have smaller portions for your prepper pantry. I think next week I will go into a video where I have different items stored different ways, if that makes sense. So a short term, a mid-term, a long term, different varieties and sizes. And I think that would be helpful for a new prepper, just so you can start prepping on a budget and prepping items that are relatively inexpensive and just easy to store. So hope that's helpful. But anyways, Kojak pinto beans are a good one to have. And then also these original mashed potatoes. Now I believe the 6.2 ounce is the largest size they have there, but sometimes I find their dried potato flakes, or I see like dried scallop potatoes in a box or something like that. But this is really awesome. You could definitely add what they tell you to add, like the butter and the milk and all that, or you could just add some water to this and then put it with some beans in a can, and this could be a great camping meal. There is a lot of different ingredients in here, but I will say for the price and just the weight of the item, this is a good thing to have in your bug out bag or on your prepper pantry shelves. Next up, I got this last time and I got another one just because my husband used it and misplaced it. But these pruning shears are super sharp. They worked awesome on my roses, and I really just wasn't expecting a good blade from Dollar Tree. In the past, I get scissors there pretty often just so I can have them in my kitchen and cut salads, things like that. But I have found that the blade just goes super dull and you can't really sharpen it. But this one, I am not sure why, is very, very strong. It's a well-made pruning shear, but you can use it for other things. I always feel like you should have something in your prepper pantry that can have multiple uses, and I feel like a pruning shear can do a lot of different things. So test it out for yourselves. $1.25 for a blade is pretty awesome, and this is a well-made blade. You can also tighten it, as you can see there, and the grip, I would suggest maybe putting some duct tape around these edges here because it does get a little bit slick. And then this part at the bottom, I find that my hand kind of folds on it a unique way, so that's why I suggest wrapping it in electrical tape or duct tape, whatever you have on hand. You might have grip tape, which would be, you know, superior to duct tape, but whatever you have on hand works. Next up on the list, the White Rain Men's Body Wash. It doesn't have to be anything specific like this. I just like to pick up one or two of these whenever I go to the Dollar Tree, just so we have something like this on the shelves. I will say I'm not a fan of, you know, these conventional, like, I don't know, store-bought shampoos, conditioners, and all of that. They are huge endocrine disruptors, and if you didn't know, that is a huge issue right now in our environment, especially in our society, so you can do your research on that, but it is nice to have in the event of an emergency, and I don't know, we don't have soap or something like that, so these are just nice to have on hand. Next up, the Southgate all beef chili with beans. Again, doesn't have to be this brand, doesn't even have to be chili, but the canned items at Dollar Tree are worth looking at. I would not necessarily suggest any of their just like plain canned vegetables because you can get them at the grocery store a lot cheaper, but you could look into their organic varieties and little ready-made meals like this, because this is easy to just grab and go. The only bad ingredient I saw was soy, I don't know, and something modified in there. So yes, definitely do your shopping when it comes to Dollar Tree, but I always try and just pick up one canned item, and I have so many organic tomato sauces that I felt like getting something different for my husband, who really doesn't care about ingredients, and this would go great in his bug out bag. And the chili was it. Of course, there are more things at the Dollar Tree that you could put in your prepper pantry. I want to hear all about your favorites in the comment section below. If you like Dollar Tree hauls like this, let me know, because I love the Dollar Tree. Alrighty, my friends, that is going to do it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed all of these items from the Dollar Tree. Please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Please let me know all the things that you are stocking up on when it comes to cheap items from the Dollar Tree. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.